Cosmic and Atomic Model, Theory of Everything. Ferman, Fernando Mancebo Rodriguez 1975–1992. First principle, atoms and stars are the same elements, structures, and physical events, but at different levels of the fourth dimension. Theory of Everything. Planetary mechanics. Essentially, planetary mechanics would consist of the conjunction of the magnetic and gravitational fields of any material nucleus, which when rotating on itself, spin, creates magnetic orbits and stationary gravitational layers, which tend to be occupied with orbitals, electrons, planets, etc., and that define the magnitude and extension of the planetary system. 1. Summary and abstract. Both at the level of atomic and subatomic particles, and at the level of stars, all of them interact with each other through gravitational attraction first, followed by magnetic and electromagnetic orbital couplings, and they all work in the same way: structure, elements, physical laws, relative dimensions, etc. The positive electromagnetic charges that attract, capture and maintain any type of orbital, electrons, neutrinos, planets, moons, particle clusters, etc., created and reside in the orbits, within peripheral magnetic fields, of atoms and stars, but not in their cores. Thus, positive electromagnetic charges are orbital places that are components of the magnetic fields around the nuclei, which consist of stationary orbits suitable for attracting, receiving, containing and giving residence to the orbitals or satellites. This point seems to be demonstrated when orbitals, like electrons, are always placed, exchanged, circulate, electric currents, etc., within, along and through the orbits of atoms, but they are never attached, exchanged or given up from the nuclei. Therefore, large nuclear accumulations of matter, with great energy density, such as atomic nuclei and stars, and other large stars and large particles, create magnetic fields around them, within which in turn, and according to their potential and rotation speed, positive magnetic fields are activated, creating well-defined orbits. In this way, and as we will see later, magnetic fields are the forces of interrelation, organization, and distribution of particles and astros, as well as their electromagnetic charges, throughout cosmic space. So that gravity condenses cosmic energy into matter to then form particles, large nuclei, etc., and then the magnetic forces arising in these manage, organize and distribute any type of these particles in systems and orbital groupings of them with the necessary, correct and obligatory balance of energy density by the cosmos. Gravity is cosmic energy when it acts in a concentric direction on any point in space. Therefore, gravity is a form of manifestation of cosmic energy, but exclusively in a concentric form. Mechanics of orbital systems formation. Thus, when large accumulations of matter create magnetic fields around them, these, together with gravitational forces, force the rotation of the entire system, creating positive stationary orbits, whose location, radius or distance to the nucleus, depends on the potential of the field and speed of rotation thereof. In atoms and stars, the magnetic fields around their nuclei create stationary positive orbits and rotate electrons and planets in them. In a similar action, the magnetic fields of electrons make rotate neutrinos around them, the magnetic fields of the planets make the moons rotate around them, the magnetic fields of galaxies make the stars rotate between them. In particle clusters, as in the formation of protostars, etc., the concentric gravity force attracts and brings the material particles closer together, and the antagonistic magnetic forces force these clusters to rotate and maintain their own energy balance space, dA, equilibrium space that is then preserved, with core and planets, when the solar system is finally built. Thus, in the cosmos, solitary particles are always positively charged because they have a high energy density, which is why they tend to form systems of particles, nucleus with orbitals, or groupings of particles to achieve the required energy and necessary balance, because these rotating formations acquire a lot of volume and the appropriate energy density, dA. So the million-dollar question and answer would be: Why do particles form orbital systems, nuclei with orbitals around them? Well, to acquire much greater volume and lower its level of energy density to that required by the cosmos. And magnetic forces and fields are responsible for all of this. Note 2020. The new discoveries of lepton quarks, the grouping of photons to form larger particles, etc., agree and demonstrate the consistency and reality of my cosmic and atomic theory with past and current observations. Thus all particles, which can be of any dimension, are made of simple matter, and it is their dimensions that define and develop more or less potentials of the gravitational and magnetic fields in each of these particles. Atomic nuclei, like stars, are amorphous matter without interior charges, which can give us, when they are destroyed, almost infinite smaller particles, unstable portions of the nucleus, of any size, and each of them, when free, develops its own magnetic fields and charges depending on its size until they become stable, for which they must meet and transform into groups of particles or orbital systems with the average energy density required to that the cosmic structuring allows and forces. Total correspondence between atoms and stars. Structure of atoms equals structure of stars. For example, diatomic molecule equals binary star. Also atomic fission equals supernova explosion. The union of particles and astros occurs through orbital coupling driven and sustained by magnetic fields, capable of structuring positive orbits, and that any large accumulation of matter produces around them, and therefore, atoms and stars are two consecutive units of matter within the fourth dimension. Fourth dimension, parallel universes. In ascending and exponential form, subatoms, atoms, us, stars, superstars, etc., are successive levels of cosmic units of energy matter through the fourth dimension, multiverse, in which the matter and energy of the cosmos is structured, a level, for example the star, being the sum of many levels or lower units, such as atoms. Our Big Bang consisted of the destruction of a superstar. Thus, our Big Bang was not the beginning of the universe, but a simple event of the thousands that continually occur in the cosmos, such as the explosion of supernovas, large atoms, etc. The number and location of the planets, and electrons, depends on the amount of nuclear matter. Well friends, in the multiple studies exhibited since 1992 the entire structure and cosmic architecture of this model is detailed. Thank you so much for your attention.